Okay, this video is going to cover an oversized tool drawer. So when I set up a toolbox, I always have a strategy for the drawers. You know, which tools go in which drawer, and then based on the item or the thing you're working on, you go for the certain drawer depending on what you're doing, right? So this drawer is, I call it the oversized tool drawer, right? And this has everything from an oversized aluminum pipe wrench to an oversized adjustable wrench. It also has an oversized set of sockets with ratchet and or pry bar, and it has an oversized pry bar, and it has a couple mallets in there, and a mini sledgehammer actually is one of those. So it's a rubber mallet and a mini sledgehammer. So if you think of it, this is the drawer. This is usually the drawer I go into when all else fails, right? You're trying to take something off, or you're trying to bend something on a piece of equipment, and it's just too large, and you need something that's oversized to tackle what you're doing. So this is one of those drawers that you don't usually typically see a lot of, because a lot of these tools cost a lot to buy. So it takes many years to accumulate all these tools, and then eventually they end up in one drawer, right? So I'm going to talk about what I recommend from a oversized tool perspective, what you can buy, what you should avoid type stuff. So right away, what you're looking for, especially in a pipe wrench, is a good quality name brand pipe wrench, right? You don't want to go after the cheap one. That's a rigid, it's aluminum, it's oversized. I've had that for a long time. And this pipe wrench has been used on everything from plumbing repairs in houses to bending tractor buckets that are bent on the sides or on the flange. Anything you can think of, I've used that on. And I have put an extension on that wrench at least 4 feet long, and I've used my entire strength to bend stuff, and that wrench has never ever had any issues. The teeth on it are as sharp as they were when I first bought it. Definitely recommend the rigid pipe wrenches. They are just indestructible and well worth the money. Okay, now the other pipe wrench in there that you see is an angled pipe wrench, and if I was a plumber, I would know the appropriate name for that, but I don't, right? So, but that angled pipe wrench is pretty handy. That one's not aluminum. That's the only problem. It's really heavy, and it's just, it's probably cast iron. But when you pick that up, it has an angle, like a 30-degree angle built into the wrench. So it really gives you easy access to stuff that would be hard to wrench on if it was a straight version of that. So that's also useful. The adjustable wrench, this is really, really handy. Also good for, bending flanges. If you adjust it and you fit it around a flange perfectly, you can bend metal really easily with it. You can take off nuts and bolts that are oversized with it. It's adjustable, totally indestructible. That's actually dipped in titanium. It's a long story on that wrench. I inherited that from my grandfather, and he was a machinist at an aerospace company, and he actually got that, and he dipped it in titanium to make it corrosion proof, right? So that wrench you could buy. Craftsman, I think, sells a version of that that's really good. Try to stay in the name brands when it comes to anything oversized. The pry bar, obviously pry bars are very useful. Everyone knows what those are, so I'm not going to go into detail. Get a decent set. When you buy these, you'll have them forever. This is a 3-foot, I believe, pry bar, and that's why it's in this drawer. The mini sledge, that is probably one of my most popular go-to tools for taking apart, disassembling anything I'm working on, right? So you can take that sledge and you can put a wrench on a nut or a bolt, and you can tap it. That's what I like doing. I take the sledge, I'll take a wrench on a large nut or bolt, and I'll tap it to break it loose, right? Obviously, an impact would do the same thing, probably a lot more gracefully, but if it's hard to get to and you can't get the impact on it, well, at least you've got a wrench, a box wrench with a mini sledge where you can tap it until you can break it loose. I use it for a lot of different things, and comes in really, really handy. That one there I've had for a long time. It's probably a Home Depot one, and it's lasted just a long time. Definitely recommend that if you can get one. And that's just a rubber mallet, right? That's just a standard rubber mallet used for anything and everything where you would want to, use that. Okay, this is where this oversized socket is where this oversized world kind of gets a little different, right? So this is the only thing in this drawer that's made in China is this oversized socket set that I got. I bought this at, I want to say either Harbor Freight or a place before Harbor Freight existed, maybe a tool show or something like that. But this oversized socket set has become really invaluable to me. Like if you go in this drawer and you're looking for a socket, you're working on something that's relatively large, and to have this socket set available, and it's been just really, really useful. And even though it's made in China, I'm going to show you that, right? That's all Chinese metal. It's oversized, so it's so oversized that it's almost indestructible because of its size, if you will. And I've had great luck with this over the years. The ratchet mechanism has never failed on the ratchet. This is actually a ratchet. Flip it over. See that? So I can use that as a ratchet. I can use a straight bow attachment. It's got some extensions, a small and a large extension, and it's got a full set of standard oversized sockets, which come in really handy. I do a lot of heavy equipment work in the backhoe loader world, right? So you can imagine everything in that world is oversized, and that comes in really handy because if you look at the sockets that I have, they only go up to a certain size. That's about it. But then if you go into this drawer, now you've got everything from that largest size and up again. So you've got a lot of coverage on what you can do with the oversized ratchet. So that's my recommendation on putting together an oversized tool drawer. And if you have one and you go into this drawer, you're working on something really heavy duty, whether it's heavy equipment or whatever. But I definitely recommend it, and this will add a lot to your toolbox.